What is AI ethics? Artificial intelligence, AI, ethics, is a framework of values, principles, and techniques rooted in widely accepted standards of right and wrong. It guides the moral conduct in the development and use of AI technologies. The goal is to motivate morally acceptable practices and define the basic duties and obligations for creating ethical, fair, and safe AI applications. This guide is for those in the public sector, including department and delivery leads responsible for developing and deploying AI systems ethically and safely. It complements existing government guidance by providing a comprehensive approach to integrating social and ethical considerations at every stage of an AI project. The rise of AI ethics is a direct response to the potential harms that can arise from the misuse, poor design, or unintended negative consequences of AI systems. These harms can manifest in several ways. Bias and discrimination. AI systems can amplify existing societal patterns of marginalization and discrimination, especially if the data used to train them is biased or not representative of the population. Denial of individual autonomy and rights. When AI systems make decisions that affect individuals, it can be challenging to hold anyone accountable for those outcomes, potentially harming individual autonomy and rights. Non-transparent or unjustifiable outcomes. Many AI models operate in ways that are too complex for human interpretation, making their decisions opaque and difficult to justify, especially when those decisions could be influenced by bias or unfairness. Invasions of privacy. The development and deployment of AI often involve the use of personal data, which can be collected and handled in ways that infringe on privacy rights. Isolation and disintegration of social connection. The hyper-personalization enabled by AI, while offering benefits, can also reduce human interaction and polarize social relationships by limiting exposure to diverse worldviews. Unreliable or unsafe outcomes. Poor data management, design, or deployment can lead to AI systems that produce unreliable or unsafe outcomes, harming individuals and undermining public trust. To counter these risks, it is essential to build a culture of AI ethics that prioritizes the well-being of the communities affected by these technologies. An ethical platform for a responsible AI project. To ensure AI projects are ethically sound, a responsible project delivery ecosystem is necessary. This ecosystem, referred to as an ethical platform, is built on three core components. 1. SUM values. A framework of ethical values that support, underwrite, and motivate a responsible data design and use ecosystem. These values are respect, connect, care, and protect. The goal is to provide a moral scope for assessing a project's societal and ethical impacts. 2. Fast-track principles. A set of actionable principles that facilitate the responsible design and use of AI systems. These principles are fairness, accountability, sustainability, and transparency. Their purpose is to ensure projects are bias-mitigating, non-discriminatory, and fair, and to safeguard public trust by delivering safe and reliable AI. 3. Process-based governance (PBG) framework. This framework operationalizes the SUM values and fast-track principles throughout the entire AI project lifecycle. It establishes transparent design and implementation processes to ensure the justifiability of both the project and its outcomes. The practical application of this ethical platform involves a continuous cycle of reflecting on the project's ethical purpose and impact using the SUM values, acting on the fast-track principles to ensure ethical and safe innovation, and justifying all actions through the PBG framework to ensure transparency and accountability. The SUM values. The SUM values provide a moral vocabulary for discussing the ethical stakes of AI projects, drawing from bioethics and human rights discourse. They are intended to guide a project from its initial evaluation and planning stages through to its implementation and reassessment. The four sum values are: respect, the dignity of individual persons. This means ensuring individuals can make free and informed decisions about their own lives, safeguarding their autonomy and supporting their ability to flourish. Connect with each other sincerely, openly, and inclusively. This value prioritizes the integrity of human connection and social cohesion, encourages diversity and participation in the AI innovation process, and uses AI to strengthen interpersonal bonds. Care for the well-being of each and all. This involves designing and deploying AI systems to foster the welfare of all stakeholders and, crucially, to do no harm by minimizing the risks of misuse or abuse. Protect the priorities of social values, justice, and the public interest. This value emphasizes treating all individuals equally, using AI to support fair treatment under the law, and prioritizing social welfare and the public interest in the development of AI technologies. These values should be used as a starting point for discussions within the project team about the ethical permissibility of a project and how to handle any tensions that may arise between the values in specific situations. The Fast Track Principles. The Fast Track Principles provide a more concrete and actionable orientation for the responsible design and use of AI systems, addressing the ethical gap created by the shift of intelligent tasks from accountable humans to non-accountable machines. Fairness in AI is about mitigating the risks of discrimination and unfairness that can arise from human biases in the design process or from historical biases present in the data. The minimum threshold for fairness is the principle of discriminatory non-harm, which means doing no harm through biased or discriminatory outcomes. This principle is broken down into four key areas. Data fairness. Ensuring that the datasets used to train and test AI systems are representative, relevant, accurate, and sufficient for their purpose. This involves careful consideration of the data's source integrity, timeliness, and appropriateness to avoid sampling bias and other flaws that could lead to discriminatory outcomes. Design fairness. Taking precautions at every stage of the AI project workflow to prevent bias from being introduced. This includes fairness-aware problem formulation, data pre-processing, feature determination, and evaluation of the model's analytical structures to ensure they are reasonable, morally justifiable, and do not contain hidden proxies for discriminatory features. Outcome fairness. Defining and measuring the fairness of the AI system's impacts. There are various definitions of outcome fairness, such as demographic parity, equal outcomes across groups, and individual fairness, treating similar individuals similarly. The choice of which definition to use depends on the specific context and technical feasibility. Implementation fairness. Ensuring that the AI system is deployed by users who are trained to use it responsibly and without bias. This involves being aware of and mitigating potential biases that can arise in the use of automated decision support systems, such as decision automation bias, over-reliance on the system, and automation distrust bias, disregarding the system's outputs. Accountability in AI is about ensuring that humans are answerable for the outcomes of AI systems and that these systems are auditable. This principle addresses the accountability gap that arises because AI systems, unlike humans, are not morally responsible agents. Accountability in AI has two key components. Answerability. This requires establishing a continuous chain of human responsibility throughout the entire AI project lifecycle, from design to deployment. It also means that competent human authorities must be able to provide clear and understandable explanations for algorithmically supported decisions. Auditability. This is about how designers and implementers are held accountable. It requires that every step of the AI project is accessible for audit, oversight, and review. This involves keeping detailed records of the design process, data provenance, and the system's operation. Accountability should be considered both before and after an AI project is deployed. Anticipatory accountability focuses on establishing accountability measures during the design and development stages to prevent potential harms, while remedial accountability deals with corrective and justificatory measures after the system is in use. Sustainability in AI refers to the long-term positive impact of an AI system on individuals and society, as well as its technical safety and reliability. Stakeholder Impact Assessment, SIA. To ensure social and ethical sustainability, project teams should conduct a stakeholder impact assessment at critical points in the project lifecycle. This assessment helps to identify and mitigate potential risks, build public confidence, and ensure that the AI system is developed responsibly and with due consideration for its impact on affected individuals and communities. Safety. Technical sustainability, or safety, means ensuring that an AI system is accurate, reliable, secure, and robust. This involves building systems that can operate dependably even when faced with unexpected changes or adversarial attacks. Key safety risks to consider include concept drift, the risk that a model's performance degrades over time as the real-world data it processes changes. Brittleness, the risk that a system may make serious mistakes when encountering unfamiliar scenarios because it lacks contextual understanding. Adversarial attack, the risk that malicious actors could manipulate the system's inputs to cause it to make incorrect predictions. Data poisoning, the risk of a malicious compromise of the data used to train the model, which could lead to systemic failures. Misdirected reinforcement learning behavior, the risk that a system designed to learn through trial and error may find harmful ways to achieve its goals. Transparency in AI is about making AI systems understandable and justifiable. It has two main aspects. Interpretability, the ability to understand how and why an AI model made a particular decision. This is often referred to as opening the black box of AI. Justifiability, the ability to demonstrate that the design, implementation, and outcome of an AI system are ethically permissible, fair, and safe. To achieve transparency, project teams must focus on three critical tasks. 1. Justify the process transparency. Demonstrate that the principles of ethical permissibility, fairness, and safety were applied throughout the entire design and implementation process. 2. Clarify the content and explain the outcome transparency. Explain in plain language how and why the model produced a specific outcome in a given context. 3. Justify the outcome transparency. Demonstrate that a specific decision or behavior of the system meets the criteria of ethical permissibility, fairness, and safety. Interpretable AI is a key component of transparency. It involves making the reasoning processes of an AI system intelligible to humans. This is challenging because human reasoning is multifaceted, involving logic, semantics, social context, and moral justification. The level of interpretability required for an AI system depends on its context. For high-stakes applications, it is often preferable to use inherently interpretable models such as decision trees or linear regression when possible. When using more complex black box models, it is crucial to use supplemental tools to ensure a sufficient level of explanation. Securing responsible delivery through human-centered implementation. To ensure that AI systems are implemented responsibly, it's essential to adopt a human-centered approach that prioritizes the needs and capabilities of the people who will be affected by the system. This involves a three-step process. 1. Consider the context and define roles. Assess who will be most affected by the AI system, especially vulnerable groups, and define the roles of everyone involved in the delivery process, from the decision subject to the system operator. This helps to tailor explanations and support to the specific needs of each group. 2. Define delivery relations and map the delivery process. Map out the relationships and communication channels between all parties involved in the implementation.
A key part of this is understanding the content lifecycle of the AI project, how human values and choices are translated into the system during the design phase, and how they must be translated back out during the implementation phase to make the system's outputs socially meaningful and justifiable. The translation rule states that the more human choices and societal values are embedded in an AI system, the greater the need for clear explanation and justification of its outcomes. 3. Build an ethical implementation platform. This involves training implementers to be stewards of interpretable and justifiable AI, able to rationally evaluate the system's outputs and communicate them clearly to affected individuals. The implementation platform should also be a two-way channel for feedback and communication, ensuring that the system remains aligned with the needs of the community it serves. A crucial aspect of this is fostering a dialogical and collaborative approach to explanation, where understanding is reached through open and respectful communication. Conclusion. The guide concludes by reflecting on the transformative power of AI and the profound responsibility that comes with it. Just as Alan Turing's foundational work in computation was rooted in an understanding of human processes, the design and implementation of modern AI must also be guided by human purposes and values. The future of our data-driven society will be shaped by the choices we make today about how we develop and deploy these powerful technologies. By prioritizing ethical considerations and working collaboratively, we can steer the course of AI innovation toward a future that promotes human well-being and a shared vision of a better world. That's all for this episode of Geek Capsule. We hope it gave you a fresh perspective on the world of technology. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to leave a comment or share your feedback. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe and join us next time for another essential read. Until then, keep your curiosity sparked and your mind open.